Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has gone abroad several times, and whenever he goes abroad, he doesn't leave the opportunity to attack India. This one time, Rahul Gandhi, who had gone to the University of California in Berkeley, USA, said,
"Liberal journalists being shot, people being lynched because they are Dalits, Muslims killed on suspicion of eating beef. This is new in India and damages India very badly. The politics of hate divides and polarizes India, making millions of people feel that they have no future in their own country."
Speaking at the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy in Singapore, Rahul Gandhi said,
Where we are running into trouble now, right, is the levels of violence, the levels of anger that you're seeing in India.
Right.
And this, to me, this is central. The idea of India that Gandhiji envisioned was an India where everybody felt they had a home, everybody felt comfortable, regardless of religion, regardless of community, regardless of state. The idea that anybody coming into India, even a foreigner coming into India, felt comfortable in the country. And that is an idea that is now, I'm sorry to say it, but that is an idea that is now being challenged.
He also praised China, attributing their achievements to their culture.
What the Chinese have achieved is impressive. And it is a manifestation of their culture and their way of doing things.
On the other hand, this is what he had said about Indian culture when speaking at an event in Germany in 2018.
I would agree with the idea that the treatment of women in India leaves a lot to be desired. I think there is a huge amount of violence against women in India. A lot of it is visible, a lot of it is on the street. Huge amount of it is invisible, you never see it. It happens in houses. Women never talk about it. I think it is a cultural issue. It is an issue of how Indian men view Indian women. The fact that violence is increasing dramatically in India, women are actually getting a huge share of it. I think it is a tragedy. I think that is the single most important thing that India needs to do, is change the way its men view its women.
Rahul Gandhi has time and again expressed his fondness for China, repeating a baseless claim wherever he goes.
China produces 50,000 new jobs every 24 hours. In the same amount of time, in the same 24 hours, India, a country that is approximately the same size as China, produces only 450. 50,000 jobs every 24 hours in China. 450 jobs in 24 hours in India.
This claim, of course, has no basis and was proved to be false. Speaking of peddling false news, in 2018, addressing the Indian Overseas Congress at London, Rahul Gandhi peddled fake news that the SC/ST Atrocities Act was being abolished and that Dalits and minorities were being denied welfare benefits. This is what he had said.
आज हिंदुस्तान में हमारे लोगों को कहा जाता है, तुम दलित हो, तुम्हें कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. तुम दलित हो, तुम्हें कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. ज्यादा बोलोगे, पीटा जाएगा. दलित अट्रॉसिटी एक्ट छीन के हम खत्म कर देंगे, स्कॉलरशिप खत्म कर देंगे. अच्छा, ट्राइबल हो, तुम्हें कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. किसान हो, तुम्हें भी नहीं मिलेगा. माइनॉरिटीज, तुम्हें भी नहीं मिलेगा. गरीब हो, तुम्हें भी नहीं मिलेगा. किसको मिलेगा? अनिल अंबानी को मिलेगा.
He also said that the Judiciary, Election Commission and RBI were being torn apart.
Supreme Court, Election Commission, RBI, ये जो हमारे एक प्रकार से हमारे देश की दीवारें हैं, इनको तोड़ने का काम करते हैं.
And in his latest attack, he challenged the idea of India being a nation, which he has been doing for some time.
This is how India is described in our constitution. India is not described as a nation. In our constitution, the line is
India, that is Bharat, is a union of states.
He had earlier repeated the same in the parliament as well as in the Congress Nav Sankalp Chintan Shivir.
India is not described as a nation, it is described as a union of states.
India is not described as a nation, it is described as a union of states.
At the Ideas for India conclave in London, he also tried to instigate anarchy in the country, calling for a mass action against the Indian state.
We are now fighting the institutional structure of the Indian state.
In his address, he repeatedly used phrases like mass action and mass movements.
The only way for us is to go to the large mass of the Indian people. How does the Congress party now go back to its roots and start moving into mass action? We have to think of funding in a completely new way, and we have to think about an organizational system that is much closer to the large mass of people, and we also have to think of large scale mass movements. We are going to have social problems. They're coming without any doubt. There is going to be a mass upsurge. You could also have a situation where you have an uncontrolled upsurge, which is what we are seeing in Sri Lanka.
He also compared India with Pakistan, claiming that the deep state was eating away the country.
The deep state, the CBI, the ED, the stuff that is hidden is now chewing the Indian state. It's eating the Indian state. Much like what happened in Pakistan.
Another problematic comparison he made was in response to a question on India's role in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Rahul Gandhi said that what Ukraine is to Russia, Ladakh is to China.
Please recognize the parallels between what is going on in Ukraine and what is going on in Ladakh and in Doklam. There are Chinese forces sitting in Ladakh, there are Chinese forces sitting in Doklam. Chinese troops are sitting inside India today. They are setting up the infrastructure. They're obviously preparing for something.
Essentially, Rahul Gandhi lends credence to Chinese propaganda and is openly inviting China to invade Ladakh, like how Russia invaded Ukraine. But the most disturbing comment that has the potential to incite unrest in the country was this.
India is not in a good place. The BJP has spread kerosene all over the country. You need one spark and we'll be in big trouble.
And there is a reason to be concerned about this loaded statement given the precedence. A political leader definitely has the right to criticize a government or a party, but not at the cost of the nation. Rahul Gandhi, by peddling propaganda against India from foreign soil, is embarrassing only himself and his party.